Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are dissecting a classic locked room mystery, one that blends that spooky Gothic horror feel with some seriously cold, hard logic. We're talking about a story of impossible deaths and the one brilliant mind who's not afraid to solve them. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. The central puzzle from Maurice Leblanc's incredible story, The Prowling Death. I mean, the question itself sounds totally impossible, right? But this is exactly the kind of challenge where our favorite gentleman thief, Arsène Lupin, is at his absolute best. So, our story kicks off at this ancient, imposing castle, the Château de Malquis. You know the type, a place just dripping with legends and spooky stories. And right now, the Del Aglaroche family, who lives there, is absolutely convinced that a vengeful ghost is haunting them, and that's what's behind this whole string of terrifying deaths. So get this, one by one, the heirs to the family fortune are being found dead, in their sleep. And the cause of death? It's bizarre. They've been crushed, literally crushed, by some kind of massive, invisible weight. But here's the kicker. The rooms are locked tight from the inside. There's absolutely no sign of an intruder. As you can imagine, the police, they are completely baffled. And this is where we get that classic setup, right? You've got two competing theories. On one hand, you have the supernatural fear. The family is terrified, convinced a demon or a ghost is hunting them. But on the other hand, you've got this fascinating central puzzle. What in the world could possibly be used as a physical murder weapon that's invisible, strong enough to crush someone, and can do its work inside a sealed room? It seems impossible. So, the family is desperate, obviously. They end up calling in an expert who specializes in, well, unusual phenomena. And who is this expert? It is, of course, our man, Arsène Lupin, completely in disguise. And he's not there to fight a ghost. Oh no. He's there to go head-to-head with a very clever, very real killer. Lupin, being Lupin, just immediately dismisses all the ghost talk. He works from one simple, rational principle. You see it right here. For him, anything that seems supernatural is really just a puzzle that hasn't been solved yet. There is no phantom, there's just a method. And he's going to find it. So, the big question is, how does he even start to pick apart a crime that looks supernatural? Well, let's follow his method, because it's a masterclass in logic, building from one tiny observation all the way to a truly shocking revelation. Yeah, you won't catch Lupin wandering around with a candle looking for cold spots or listening for rattling chains. Nope. He has a process, and it's crystal clear. First step, analyze the force. What would it take to do this? Step 2, hypothesize a mechanism. What machine could produce that force? And finally, step 3, find the evidence to back it all up. Simple, logical, brilliant. His whole investigation really kicks off with one key observation. He looks around the room and asks a simple question. What in here is actually heavy enough to crush a person? And his eyes land on these massive, solid oak wardrobes. You know, the kind you see in old castles, weighing an absolute ton. And just like that, a piece of furniture becomes his prime suspect for the murder weapon. And so his whole focus shifts. He's done with the supernatural, now he's all about the mechanical. So instead of looking for ghostly apparitions, he's down on his hands and knees, pulling back rugs, searching for tiny scratches on the floorboards. He's tapping on the walls, listening carefully for any hollow spaces. He's not hunting a ghost anymore. He's hunting an engineer. And this is what leads him to the incredible truth. The solution here isn't a ghost story at all. It's pure, cold-blooded engineering. And honestly, it's way more terrifying than any ghost could ever be. See, the whole secret, the absolute crucial point is this. The killer never brought a weapon into the bedroom. No, they turned the bedroom itself into the weapon. The whole thing was one giant, perfectly designed assassination device. And it was hiding in plain sight the entire time. So Lupin uncovers this infernal machine. I mean, we can put the definition up here, but just try to picture the reality of it. Hidden under the floor, a set of tracks letting that massive wardrobe just glide without a sound. Buried inside the thick castle walls, a whole system of pulleys and counterweights, all connected to a silent motor in a secret control room next door. From there, the killer could just flip a switch and send hundreds of pounds of oak sliding across the room to crush the victim in their sleep. It is brilliant, it is patient, and it is absolutely monstrous. Okay, So Lupin has figured out the how. The machine is solved. But now he's got to prove who. The motive is pretty clear. It's got to be about the inheritance. So what does he do? He sets his own trap to force the killer to show their hand. And his suspicion lands on the one person nobody would ever suspect, who also happens to have the most to gain from all these deaths, the old, seemingly weak patriarch of the family, the Marquis d'Aigleroche. If all the other heirs are gone, he gets everything. And the climax? Oh, it is just pure theater. Lupin baits his trap beautifully. He announces to everyone that he's going to sleep in the cursed bed to finally confront this so-called ghost. So that night, it's pitch black, and he hears it, a tiny, faint, whirring sound. And the wardrobe starts its silent, deadly journey across the room. He waits, and then at the very last second, he jumps out of the way. The lights flick on, and there's Lupin staring down the horrified Marquis, who's standing right there in his secret control room. The whole scheme is exposed. In the panic that follows, the Marquis stumbles, he trips, and he falls right back onto the bed. His own panicked scrambling triggers the machine one last time, and in this moment of perfect, chilling, poetic justice, the Marquis is killed by the very monster he created. And that leaves us with this final, kind of chilling thought about what really scares us. I mean, the story rips away the supernatural sheet, right? But what it reveals underneath is something way more disturbing. The terrifying power of human ingenuity when it's fueled by pure greed. So it really makes you wonder, what's more terrifying? A ghost you can't see or a machine you can't escape? It's the cold, inescapable logic of a perfect trap that's the true horror here.